Hi, everybody. This is Coach Allison, and I've got your week 28 Defy Aging workout to review. This week, we're going to go into a ladder routine, which, if you've been with us for a while, we've done these many times before. We start with a low rep count and we increase every new set. So that's kind of like going up your ladder. And then we get to the highest rep count, then we start coming back down. So you got to come back down the ladder. So the reps we're going to do for everything is going to start with 3 of each. And then round 2 is 6, and then 9 and 12. And that's as high as we're going to go. And then we come back down 9, 6, and 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 9, 6, 3. Yeah, and there's 6 exercises, and it's in your own space at your own pace. So you'll have your own equipment. We shouldn't have to have too much shared stuff, maybe a couple benches for some incline options. Other than that, you're going to have your own equipment in your own space, going at your own pace. We're going to set a 25-minute maximum for this routine, but it's okay if you don't get the full ladder all the way up and all the way back down. You do this routine for the full 25 minutes, and however far you get is how far you get, and that's just fine. If you happen to get it all done, you get to start it over again and start to go back up the ladder. Okay, but anyways, let's review our exercises and do some demonstrations. All right, so your first exercise, I was almost going to say station. Remember, you're in your own space for this, is a squat curl press. I think we did this a couple of weeks ago, so it might still be fresh in your head. But however, we're going to do a specific type of grip with the weights. We're going to keep the weights neutral at all times. That means palms turned in to your side like this. We aren't going to be turning palms forward at all, just for the variety. So we do a squat with the arms at your side, come up, hammer style bicep curl, and then neutral grip overhead press. So see how I didn't turn my wrists inward at all during any of that? Squat, curl, press, and you just take it slow. Squat, curl, press. So if you try to do those too fast, it kind of gets jumbled up and you kind of might start curling while you're trying to squat and everything gets a little mixed up. So just take it one step at a time. And that is the first exercise. Exercise 2 is a high plank toe tap. So high plank just refers to being on your hands instead of your forearms. So we're going to be in that high plank position, just like you were going to start a push-up. So we want, it's important you're keeping your hands right underneath your chest and not kind of out and forward like this. So we don't want the hands way out here. Plus, when you do that, they tend to want to slip. So scoot your body forward. See how my hands now are like straight down from my chest and shoulders. Okay, so hips level, so we don't want any steeple hips like this. And we're going to tap the toes out to the side. The count is going to be each side individual, so you'll count 1, 1, 2, 2, and so on. There isn't a knee option for this. It really just, you would think logically, you would kind of think you could tap the knee out to the side, but I've tried it and it really just doesn't, you don't get enough movement, so it's really not, and it's too tempting to be up in this tabletop. So there really isn't a knee option. So anyone staying off the floor, this is pretty low. It's just the closest thing I had, but most benches will be, up here. But feel free to turn this into an incline version. Same exact movement with the toes going out to the side. Only difference is you're up a little bit higher. That is exercise 2. Exercise 3, this one's a little different. It's called a kettlebell hip to shoulder. It's exactly what it sounds like. So you're going to start with your kettlebell in a bottoms up position. However, that's a little different. Okay. I'm not going to trip on that. And we've done a hip to a halo before. So this is like halfway there. So we're just not going to do the halo. Bring it down like you're bringing the handle to your hips. You can even see, I'm even touching the handle to my hip. And then you kind of cross over and then bring the base towards you can touch it to your shoulder, to the shoulder. And that's 1 rep. Hip as far across and over as you can to shoulder over here. Kind of like you were going to wind up to hit something. I don't know. Take it slow. So up and down is 1 count. So that would be 1. That would be 2. You can do a little bit of rotating in your torso if you'd like a little bigger range of motion. So you can kind of come down over here and then see how I'm rotating a little bit. That just makes it, depending on the weight of your kettlebell, if you get that little rotation, it makes it a little more like core work. But it's a lot of arm and a lot of shoulder. All right, that's our hip to shoulder with the kettlebell. Next, we have a rear delt, kind of upper back sort of exercise. It's a kneeling single arm reverse fly. Yes, long name. And I guess we wouldn't have to say, we could have called it quadruped too, because we're going to be down on all fours to start, but then we lift up one hand. So this one we have done before. If you recall, we do need a relatively light weight for this. Definitely something lighter than what you do a shoulder press with. Okay, make sure you're in a nice tabletop position here. And side with the weight. It's the best angle so you can see my position of my arm. Soft bend in my elbow. Can you see I have a very soft bend here? And you keep that arm position the whole time. So I'm going to not do it with the weight yet, so you can see how I'm keeping that arm position. What we see a lot of with this is like a flex, an extension and a flex from the elbow. So we're not doing that. You lock your arm into that one mostly straight position and raise it up and bring it down. That's how you target those muscles back here. So with the weight, see how I'm keeping that soft bend in my elbow, and I'm not like extending and bending from the elbow at all. Okay, now with this one, if you grab a weight that's too heavy, it might be really tempting to need to like turn your body and kind of use momentum and thrust and jerk. That's what we don't want to do. We want this one to be a controlled movement. I'm using a 5-pounder, and me personally, I don't think I would, in that fashion, I don't think I would even do that with anything more than an 8-pounder. So pick a nice reasonable weight, and you can do that with, again, this isn't, well, I can stack this, I suppose. You can do that on an incline. For anyone staying off of knees, put your hand on a bench, and it's all the same cues, same movements. Again, we're not flinging and thrusting and flopping or any of that. It's very controlled. So that rep count is each side, of course. And let's try our reverse fly. After our reverse flies, you can actually just stay on the floor if you're already there, because we're going to do a marching hip bridge. Lots of bridge variations we do, or hip thrusts, kind of the same, different name for the same thing. Okay, first thing we do is lift the hips. You want to keep the hips in that lifted position at all times while we march the knees alternating into the chest. So the count is 1, 1, 2, 2. When your feet are on the floor, use full even pressure over the whole foot. So you're pushing through your heel, the ball of your foot, and your toes. Some people tend to want to go up into the heels like this, or even kind of into the toes like this, but we want that full foot pressing into the floor. So that's the rep count again, each side separately. Anyone staying off the floor, we're going to switch it to a step up instead. And you can do all the reps on one side and then switch. So like if I'm starting with my left leg up here, I would go up, come back down, just keep that leg there for the full round one would be 3 reps, then switch and do 3 reps on this side. So that's how you can work it if anyone is staying off the floor as an alternative to those marching hip bridges. Last but not least, more of our cardio move is going to be our lateral floor run. And yes, the same lateral floor run that we have in the warm-up. So should be getting pretty familiar with it. But I like to start wide. Doesn't matter. That's just my preference. You go in, out, out. That's 1 rep. 1, 2, 3. Add some speed. 4, 5, 6. Once you get that footwork down, add a little bit of speed. It's going to be the rep count again, leading with each leg. So each side separately. So for example, I'm starting with my right leg. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to switch and go with my left leg first. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you count that. And yes, the 12 rep set will be 24 total, so it'll be a little bit longer, but it is our main cardio. So that's the 6th exercise in your list. Once you're done with all of those, you go back to the top of the list, repeat for the next number of reps in your ladder, and there we go. Okay, and our team builder, it's more of just a metabolic finisher this time because we're going to be working independently, but we're working as one big team all the time, right? So it's going to be a cardio complex. There's 3 cardio movements. You can do 10 reps of each one. Run through it 2 times. try to get through as quick as you can. This is a cardio challenge, so the goal is to not rest too much. But if you feel like you do need to step aside for a moment to catch your breath, definitely go ahead. Here are the 3 movements. Jump squat. So normal squat looks like this, right? Staying glued to the floor. Jump squat. Try to get a little air under your feet. Get a little hop. But it's very important. The landing is super important for overall safety, especially on the joints, is that you land and go right down into your next squat. See how smooth that was going down? Instead of stopping like this, then going down, stop, down. So that's what we don't want to do because that's a lot of jarring. Anyone unable to do jumps, or maybe there's an impact restriction, anything like that, turn that into a fast squat. So we take out the jump, but we add speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that takes place in the jump because it's still a lot of cardio. 10 of those. Next, front kicks. I couldn't remember exactly what it sounds like. 10 front kicks. Alternate sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get that leg as high as you can. Try not to lean back. Don't compensate by leaning back. And with a true kick, we're not going to worry about form too much, really. But it's not just lifting your leg forward. You bring the knee up first, then extend your leg, bring it back, and down. So all together. Okay, so that's the form we want. So we're not just kind of doing a straight leg kick. So we've got to get that knee up first, extend, back, and down. So 10 total, 5 each side because it's alternating. So not 10 each side, don't worry. Just a nice total count of 10. Then we go into high plank jack. I know we had high plank toe taps. We're stepping it up a notch. Same form to start, but we jump. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do it on an incline as well, of course, any of our boxes or benches. Make sure you don't start to drift back here. So your hands are here, but your shoulders are here. Always stay shoulders over the hands. And again, that one, it is a little bit of impact, but it's very minimal. It's nothing like jumping up and down. So I definitely recommend everyone trying it, even if, you don't typically do our jumping exercises unless you have an absolute restriction that this won't work for you. You can go slow too. You can take it at a nice, comfortable pace. You don't have to go as fast as I was showing at first. However, anyone that is unable to do the jumps 100%, we're going to continue with the toe taps that we did in the workout. So you'll have to do a few more of those because we want a little more core work too. 10 of each of those. Oh, and that if you're doing the toe taps, that's 10 each side. But anyways, 10 of each of those. Run through that for 2 rounds. And let's see how quickly everybody can get this metabolic finisher completed. I am back, and I think after I recorded that last part of that, it's a great reason why I should always cut and restart and start again before every new clip. But if anyone is not doing the jumps for that last thing I demonstrated, the high plank jacks, perhaps we take it up. We get off of the floor of the box. I know I'm in the office now. And we take it to a standard step jack. I think that for the variety, so stepping to the side, because at least we're still getting the a little more cardio, I think, than the high plank toe taps. And we did just do the high plank toe taps in the workout. So going back on my other suggestion, that's a good alternative. Anyways, all of that together is week 28. Hope you enjoy this ladder routine, and I'll see you back next week.